What's going on, guys? Nicholas Gao here for SBU TV Sports, and what a game we had as the St. Bonaventure Bonnies were able to pull off after a Kyle Lofton pull-up jump shot. 62-60 over the LaSalle Explorers on a 3-game win streak, and now they're on the road to Rose Hill Gym to face Fordham at 4:30 Saturday. Hey guys, thanks for joining us here again. My name is Nicholas Gao, and the final score of your game was 82-69 Roman Catholic. But let me tell you something, the 2-3 zone really affected the Bonnies. You can see how the ball movement, they were trying to get something offensively, but in the first half, man-to-man defense by Davison, the Bonnies were able to kick it out, get stops on defense, and able to hit scores in transition. But the 2-3 zone really settled things out, and then Davison also made some shots, which helped the Bonnies score in transition. The Coach Mike from VCU really showed up with a game plan, and really I think also attacked the weak point of the Bonnies, which was the 3-point shooting. 1 for 18 from the whole entire game. Did not make a 3 until the second half. It was like, they attacked that weak spot for the Bonnies.
Former St. Bonaventure rugby captain and Division I-A East MVP Eamon Matthews has signed a 1-year contract with the Atlanta professional rugby team. Matthews has spent time in the 404 Atlanta development team looking for a shot at the pros. Matthews mentioned to me how Coach Andrew Tui and assistant coach Danny Neighbor have impacted his life as a man and as a rugby player. Matthews will be looking to make an impact on the team as their first regular season game will be on February 9th against the Utah Warriors.
Honestly, at this point, you might as well throw the tape away from this game, burn it, put it in the ashes, throw it in the trash can, put it in the snow, do whatever you need to do to never see this game again and just move on to the next, because that is the best option right now for these Bonnies, because I said it during halftime, they're the one team that when you're down by 20, they can still make a run. Adams and the Bayhawks will be heading to Fort Wayne, Indiana to face off against the Mad Ants Friday at 7 p.m. Tune into next week's player profile as we speak with Courtney Stockard about his final season at St. Bonaventure. Co-captain of the women's rugby team, Kelly DeGrood, sat down with us this week as she is our third installment of the player profile. Stage is set. Saturday at 2:30, the St. Bonaventure men's basketball team will be celebrating 100 years of history. This year marks 50 years since a team led by NBA Hall of Famer Bob Lanier went all the way to the Final Four. 10 of the 20 members of the selected all-time team list will be in attendance for the game. After being honored on Saturday, they will be heading to the New Era Field to be recognized during the pregame matchup against the Baltimore Ravens. Head coach of the St. Bonaventure men's rugby team, Andrew Tui Osborne. Osborne has built St. Bonaventure's rugby team into the 13th ranked team in Division I-A. From 2006 to 2008, Tui played for the U.S. national team. From there, he coached Life University to 2 national championships. And since being hired at St. Bonaventure in 2015, people would consider his program being successful. This weekend, Bonnies will be facing off against the Notre Dame College of Ohio this Saturday, as they are currently ranked 18th in the Division I-A.
I'm really excited, man, despite this historically cold weather. God bless anybody in the Midwest. But I gotta tell you, the Riley Center today was rocking. I mean, what a perfect stage. ESPN2, everybody coming back from break, everybody freezing their butts off, coming to classes. The first day off of school in a very, very long time last Thursday.
Yep, Thursday.
So let me tell you, I mean, the stage was perfect. Both teams coming in with a winning streak. I mean, what a game.
Yeah, I think there would be a totally different game if she was in the double overtimes, in each overtime.
I agree.
And not that Amani didn't do well. Amani did what he could, but again, I mean, even Dayton, they had a couple of guys that they had one, the Scrutter guy. He was, he was taking us in the whole time, wheeling and dealing, driving and passing and making plays. And when he fell out of the game, they had to find another guy, and they did in Davis, making that big clutch shot at the end, right on this 3-point line up here around here. That also was almost like a nail in the coffin, saying that we got it. And then, I mean, you also had that last chance right there with Darian with the one-footer free, but obviously, those shots are tough to make. So, Lauren Malcolm, thank you again for joining us at the player profile. This is the first of the semester and the first of the year. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Your freshman year, you started like 19 games right off the bat. Talk a little bit about that, just like maybe the struggles, the successes.
It was definitely coming in as a freshman. I mean, the goal is obviously to start and play, but when that reality actually hits and sets in, I was kind of like shell-shocked at first, and I remember the first game, I didn't even feel like I was playing. Like, it was like an outer body experience.
3 years passes by. And now you're the senior, you're captain.
Yeah.
And now you're also top 5 in all-time saves as a Bonnie. What is that like, just hearing that and then knowing that you have a chance to keep moving up?
Yeah. No, like you said, like it's hard to believe. I try sometimes not to focus on that kind of stuff. I don't know. It's hard to believe.
Talk a little about your family and how they supported you.
Almost every game, I see them on the sidelines, and we have this little thing. Like, I love when they're like near my goal, so I always like make them like switch halves. So like when I switch goals, they switch sides.
How would you describe your time here as a Bonnie?
Oh, that's a tough question. I mean, it's been amazing, and like I said, it's gonna be so sad to leave, and I try not to think about maybe like the end of it because it's just so hard sometimes to like grasp. But I definitely think like senior day or whenever our last game or practice will be, it will be sad.
Thank you again for so much for doing this.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm sitting down with Kelly DeGrood. Kelly, thank you so much for joining us here at the Player Profile.
No, thank you for having me.
Tell me about the game of rugby. How has the game impacted your life?
So when I first found rugby, like I was just always like a super aggressive player. So like when I heard about it, I was like, oh, like maybe I might really enjoy this. And so like after my first practice, I was like, this is where I should be.
Outside of Bonaventure, you played for a Canadian club team. Talk about your experiences playing with that team.
Immediately from day one, like the coach, like I just met the coach and he's just like, oh, hey, like I heard about you and I heard like you want to go far, like what can I do? He's super supportive, and like from there, like playing with them, like my game has grown so much.
Talk about what is the team feeling like against a rival Buffalo State?
They were, last season, our regular season, they were the only team that we didn't win against. They are a 3-time state champion. For us, that alone, like that's a huge team to like come out and play against. They're reigning champions. We're St. Bonaventure. Yeah. We're coming for you. We want to come out and just like, really not just beat them, but beat them.
Kelly, thank you so much for doing this interview. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bunnies on 3! 1, 2, 3, Bunnies!
Coach Tui, thank you so much for joining us here for the Player Profile.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
Talk about the challenges and the things you had to do to build this program up to what it is now.
I had to realize quickly that, you know, this is a unique place where I'd had to tailor most of what I did down there to the environment here. And that was one of the biggest lessons for me as being part of this career.
What are some of the challenges you face with the emotions being so high of being homecoming and that it's 2 top 20 teams going at it?
So Notre Dame College, we beat them last year, so we're expecting them to come full force this year because, you know, they're trying to turn us over. We do have home field advantage and we have a lot of great supporters here at Bonnie's. They have a really new team this year and they look well, they look pretty good, and we're looking forward to the challenge. Expectation-wise, we want to keep it in-house and make sure our expectations at training is high. Our expectations in the weight room is high. Our expectations in anything we do off the field is high because we truly believe it transfers over.
Coach, thank you so much for joining us here at the Player Profile. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Straight to the pack, the wolf, straight to the wolf is up. Yellow, 5 on 3, 1, 2, 3. Bunnies!